Thank you very much, Steph, and very good to see you, albeit remotely. As you know, I just returned from another visit to Gaza. I've done so at regular intervals, and I certainly intend to also spend longer periods in Gaza, as I've now officially opened my office and the team will partially relocate to Gaza. But on Gaza itself, I don't think I'm telling you anything new. The situation remains absolutely catastrophic. For 10 months now, Palestinian civilians have suffered a horrendous maelstrom of human misery, from the scale of destruction to the impact and trauma on their individual lives, of course, including the large numbers of civilians that have lost their lives. If you look at the current period, summer temperatures are soaring. The UN team and partners are truly working to address the severe shortages of waste management and sanitation facilities, particularly if we continue to look at the risk of outbreaks when it comes to communicable diseases. You're fully familiar, of course, with the outbreak or the identification of the poliovirus in the water based on samples that were collected last month from Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah. I had the pleasure to visit a maternity ward, a mobile ward that was just approved for use in Gaza, run by UNFPA and the International Medical Corps. And there are truly brave women, doctors, nurses, working to ensure safe deliveries, as well as a high number of C-sections, but under horrendous circumstances. And normally, babies, of course, bring only joy and a momentary sense of relief to the families. But we also know that many of the mothers are deeply worried about the future and the world, the space they're bringing their children into. I've also learned from doctors that the rate of miscarriage in first and second trimester is on the rise, and the explanations are not clear, and they'll conduct studies into that. At the same hospitals, I visited children with severe, often chronic medical conditions that only can be treated if they are medevaced. A number of these children have been displaced 4 or 5 times within Gaza, each time in pursuit of safety and medical shelter. I think it's quite difficult for us to even imagine. I've also spoken to a number of NGOs. I do so each time when I visit, and humanitarians, to discuss the challenges, what my mission can do through the political good offices that I prevail of, through the access that we have at the political level to see what their needs are. And the list by the NGOs is very similar, of course, to what you hear of the UN. Lack of law and order, difficulty in operating, the access issues, safety and security, particularly for Palestinian NGOs, but also international NGOs, and the difficulty of distribution if and when the goods, of course, arrive into Gaza. I'd like to make a particular shout out for the Palestinian NGOs, who most of them have lost buildings, working equipment, anything. These were the ones that are closest to their people. They've delivered in previous times, they've worked under Hamas, and they're now seeking to be that vibrant voice of civil society. And I think they deserve a particular notion of support. Of course, everything we do is also to ensure that we're ready for if and when that so much needed ceasefire is actually announced and formalized. The UN and its partners is working to ramp up the supplies through pre-positioning from Jordan and Egypt. We're asking the donors to keep financing, and of course at the political level, I engage with everyone to ensure we can actually do so and deliver. Last but not least, the famous mechanism under Resolution 2720, it's working, it's capturing aid supplies from Jordan, Cyprus, West Bank into Gaza. We're finalizing with Egypt, and as I mentioned before, the monitors are ready to be deployed inside Gaza. They're ready to pick up their visas as they have been approved. But what we need is an immediate and full ceasefire, the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages, and of course continued access to start to meet the needs, but also really think of a future for Palestinians and Israelis alike in the pursuit of peace. Thank you.